All right, what's going on, everybody? John McKechnie here. It's Combine weekend. We got the receivers, looks like, running their 40-yard dashes right now. We've got a lot of important data points already in for this weekend's big event, the big NFL Combine out in Indianapolis. So a lot to get to. We'll kind of run through some of the big takeaways here from the fantasy relevant guys here. We'll start with tight ends here in a second, get into the running backs, see what we can get out of these receivers and quarterbacks as far as metrics are concerned, and then we will go ahead and put it to the test. We're going to do a little live draft also, probably coming up in about 20 or so minutes, maybe 30 minutes. We'll see how long we can ramble on this. And if you got any questions on any of these prospects, go ahead and fire them my way in the comment section. I'll get to as many of them as I can. I'm going to go ahead and start by sharing my screen here. I don't know why everyone has the same exact tone when they say I'm going to share my screen, but here we are. So over on RotoWire, we pride ourselves on doing this in real time. We're doing it live. So we have input. We've got people working all around the clock, inputting all of this workout data. So right there on the screen right now is the 2026 tight end class that they worked out last night. I guess they did their benches this morning, but yes, these are the main guys. So not the entire class participated, but we do have a pretty decent sample of guys here that participated in the combine. So we're going to get started with a look at these guys. Kenyon Sadiq at the start. I think that he's someone that was routinely bandied about as the tight end one in this class. I think that it had a lot more to do with production than anything else. His production was good, of course, but you knew just by watching the film, just by watching Oregon these last couple of years in particular, it's like, okay, he moves a little bit different than everybody else. Like, this guy looks like an absolute weapon that's going to be, probably a big deal at the next level. And the combine really stamped that. I want to say that his 40-yard time is the fastest among tight ends that we have on record at the combine. Yeah, he is in the 100th percentile, as you can see there, with a 4.4 in the 40-yard dash at 241 pounds and 6'3". So monster day for him. I think for a brief moment, he might have had the best vertical as well before Eli Stowers went up and dropped a little nice 45.5 inch vertical. So that was insane as well. So really, there is some question as to like how talented this tight end class was overall. 1 second. Yeah. So how deep is this class, right? And I think that it's hard to replicate what we had last year, where you had Colson Loveland and Tyler Warren going in the top 15, and then you had guys like Rondé Gasson and Harold Fannin who were complete smashes relative to their draft capital. So can this class be that? I'm still not convinced of that necessarily, but I think we know for sure that we're going to have two guys that should be top 40 picks, at least in the case of Stowers and Sadiq. And I think you look at the general landscape of the rest of this class, and you feel like if you're just doing a big board, if you're looking at just who are the best players in this class, I feel like you have a hard time getting past like number 25 and not coming with Eli Stowers as your next guy. I think that he also had a phenomenal workout yesterday, 6'3", 230 or 6'4", 239. So about what we expected as far as the height weight was concerned. It dropped to 4.5 in the 40, which is a really strong number, 88th percentile according to our database. Best vertical jump, best broad jump, it looks like, too, as far as tight end numbers are concerned. So those guys absolutely crushed. I think that there's no doubt that those guys are going to be pretty serious players here coming up at the next level. And I think that, for fantasy purposes, we're going to see them, really kind of like their draft stock really kind of take off here in this next little bit. Looks like Sam Roush out of Stanford also is kind of regarded as someone who had, a pretty strong combine out of Stanford. Checks in big guy, 6'6", 267, runs the 4.7, which isn't great, but size adjusted, I think that's a pretty strong number for someone that is as big as Roush is. Really good agility drills, especially in that cone drill, good vert, good broad jump as well. And then had a strong 25 reps on the bench too. So Roush is another guy who might have been a little bit off the radar for most people, kind of myself included. Although, it is fair to say, like, if you got a tight end prospect out of Stanford, like, probably worth taking a look. But Roush definitely did well for himself. Additionally, Oscar Delp was unable to work out at the combine. They found out that he had a fractured foot that he was playing on all season. So no workouts for him at this combine. And John Michael Gillenborg, I thought, had a good enough combine as well. One that I think puts him back on the radar. He had some hype going into this past year, but got a little bit dinged up, missed some time. The overall offense there at Wyoming was not particularly strong. So, I think that he was more of like a sleeper coming into the combine, but, strong 40 for his size at a 6'4", about 250, or 6'6", about 250, runs the 4.6 in the 40, has a strong broad jump, which is always a good indicator, and a good shuttle time as well. Why don't we go ahead and jump on over to the running backs? They went this morning, and I think that everyone was pretty of the opinion that Jeremiyah Love was the best running back in this class, and we all kind of expected him to be, one of the best performers at the combine as well. Checks in at 6 foot 212, which I think is a good kind of frame for him. We got my guy Mario Puig joining in here just momentarily. We're going to get his thoughts on things here. So I'm going to bring him up right now. Mario, what's going on, man?
Hey, John. Can you hear me?
I got you.
Okay, cool.
Welcome. So I just kind of broke down the big takeaways from the tight ends in their workouts yesterday. I talked about Sadiq and Stowers, a little bit on Gillenborg, and Sam Roush as well. But did you have any other kind of takeaways, good or bad, from what the tight ends did? And then we'll kind of get into the running backs here.
It was mostly all good, pleasantly surprising, even for a group, especially in the cases of like Sadiq and Stowers, had pretty high expectations. And I was pretty easily underestimating both of them, even though I kind of imagined them both as like 95th, 92nd percentile athletes. They both were more like 99. Even when adjusting for how kind of light they both are. So that was good to see. The Sam Roush, is that how you say it? The Stanford one?
I've been saying Roush. I don't know.
Roush. Yeah, I'll say Roush. You can say Roush just in case.
Very good.
And I'll just real quickly, I don't think he's any interest for fantasy purposes. I think if he has a notable utility in the NFL, it would probably be as like a Tip Raymond type, because he's just kind of big and he can move, and I assume he's a dutiful blocker and all that. Although he does have very oddly short arms. I don't know if you noticed that. Sam Roush.
Yeah, 30 and 5/8. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's just kind of T-Rexy, kind of weird. If that like holds back his blocking utility, he could become kind of just cut bait pretty quick.
Okay. All right. So that's an important one to figure out, because I think that there was kind of a general appetite among the drafters out there that are following the combine. That's like, oh, if this guy tests well, he's clearly going to be on my board here. But so for him to have that, but you look at the production and you look at that arm detail for
bad
instance,
production, really
it's
bad.
Not good.
The target rate was kind of encouraging this last year, but the efficiency is so bad across the board. It's like this just looks like forced usage, basically.
Yeah, I mean, Stanford's been kind of a rudderless ship in the NIL era, and for him, he checks in with a catch rate that was subpar, 49 catches on 84 targets, and a yards per target figure that was under 6.5. So
it's not really acceptable. That's like we're benching you next year kind of numbers.
Yeah, so definitely for on a per target basis, it's diminishing returns if you're going to give him that much usage. Can you talk me off the ledge a little bit on my guy Tanner Koziel?
Oh, you were concerned with his results?
I just didn't know what to make of them because, again, he is so tall that, I was worried about like the movement details for him.
Yeah, fair enough. I guess what I would say is any concern that you have on Koziel's results, I think might be just sort of a little informed, like you're kind of getting maybe a little bit unrealistic expectations informed by just kind of like how wacky impressive these results have been. You're not hearing sorry, I was trying to pull up in his NFL page and I got some kind of pop-up ad and I had to close
you're
it.
good.
So I couldn't look up the numbers for Koziel, but I think I saw a 4.7 flat and he was 6'7", 247. I was worried he'd show up like 6'7", 240. If it was 247 that I saw at 6'7", that's notable because it's still a little bit less than Colby Parkinson, but Colby Parkinson was 6'7", 252 at the combine and ran a 4.77. So Koziel is not supposed to be as well-rounded as Parkinson. Like if Koziel turned out to be 80% of the blocker that Parkinson is, that would mean Koziel probably turned out to be really good because I'm assuming Koziel will be a more imposing route runner target than Colby Parkinson. So which Koziel needs to do, if he's not going to block as well as Parkinson, then he needs to make up for it somehow. But sure. Even pushing 250 at all, running a 4.7 flat, that's pretty interesting to me. I can imagine someone pointing out like Dan Arnold as a sort of detractor case study for Parkinson, but even that guy was like 230 or something and trying to play that fake tight end game. It's like Tanner Koziel really might be able to be a fake tight end who kind of like pulls it off.
All right, I'm keeping the faith there. All right, so that's good to hear. Have you followed along with the running backs and how they did this?
I've been trying to keep up with it, but yeah, I might have missed a couple recent developments.
So it looks like they, a lot of the times, I guess these days the running backs will skip the agility stuff, but their verticals, their broad jumps, and their 40s are in for the most part. I've got it up on the screen over at RotoWire that we've got our little database going. I got it sorted by the 40, and dang, Mike Washington, Jeremiyah Love, and Damon Claiborne all checked in, all very different type of running backs in terms of their size and, kind of where they grade out. Each of them running a sub 4.4 in the 40.
Yeah. Is there only 10 running backs running the 40? Is that the full?
It appears to be, yeah, because you look at like Singleton's hurt. I think that Reed didn't do it. I think Le'Veon Moss was still gonna wait. Katron Allen, I'm not sure if he did. And so
now I'm even more angry about not having that Houston running back. I can never quite remember the name of
Dean Connors.
I can't remember his name, but he should have been at the combine instead of I don't know, somebody. But yeah, it is really good testing. I know people are going to look at Emmett Johnson and this 4.56 and say, "Oh, I guess he sucks now." But I reject that. To me, it's more like if Emmett Johnson had run much faster than he did, then I'd have to say this is a first round kind of talent. 4.56. We've already seen with Bucky Irving the kind of impact of a 4.55 running back at around 200 pounds can have if they're processing and if their burst, their motor is good enough. And Johnson, I think, grades really well as all of those. So if Emmett Johnson's best ball price gets cheaper from his admittedly like not good combine testing, I'm just going to take a bunch anyway. I don't care. The 4.52 for Robert Henry hurts a lot more. If you're Robert Henry, you don't want to get outran by Adam Randall, who still needs to move to tight end. I think like Adam Randall just doesn't look like a running back to me.
Not too big.
Yeah, Heidenreich for Navy running a 4.44 is kind of crazy. I guess. I still think he's a receiver and not a running back. But if he's running a 4.44 and he's putting up the kind of from scrimmage numbers in college that he did, I don't know what. I don't really know what else he's supposed to prove exactly because he definitely torched whenever he got the ball at Navy. The top three, though, Damon Claiborne, the 4.37, It's interesting, but I don't care. He had trouble creating yardage at Wake Forest despite how fast he is. He fumbled quite a bit at Wake Forest. He's never going to be a power runner. You can't use him inside. It's like, what if Bashal Tutin was way worse? That's how I see Damon Claiborne. Hang on just a second.
Yep.
So I had to plug in the computer. So I don't care about Claiborne. Jeremiyah Love running the 4.36 is interesting, but man, as I said before the combine, I only really cared about the weigh-in with Love, and I don't like the weigh-in that much. It's good that he's not. I was worried he'd come in at like 6 foot and 5/8 or something like that. But 212 at 6 foot is not that great in my opinion. DeAndre Swift was 212 at 5'8". So just imagine DeAndre Swift like slimming down, reaching the same ratio of mass to height as Jeremiyah Love, becoming the 5'8" version of whatever the 212 is on 6 feet. It would be a weird visual, right? And you'd all of a sudden be like, wow, this guy's skinny. Mm-hmm. And it's I don't know, it's a little bit of a concern to me. However, the testing is great, and if Jeremiyah Love adds weight, which I think he should, I think not as in I expected necessarily. I don't know what to expect. I guess I'm a little concerned about it. If someone told me though Love's planning on playing at like 220 plus, that's all I really need to hear, because then we're getting more in the frame of the good case examples of this frame type, which is the Deuce McAllister, DeMarco Murray post bulk phase. So those kinds of things I think give the kind of like blueprint for how Jeremiyah Love can really hit his best case scenario. If he's playing at 6 foot 212, I'm just worried he's not setting like the proper anchor for the kind of space he's traversing and like the contact he might invite doing it. But who knows? I don't want to like hold anything against Love that could ultimately just be like a paranoid fear of mine. It's like maybe he will show up at 220, and it's like, okay, at that point, 6 foot, even if he's somewhat upright in his build, being 220, you're kind of ready to rock at that kind of weight. If you're 212, I'm a little bit more worried about your knee going the wrong way. Someone goes low on you, things like that. But in any case, Jeremiyah Love is definitely, top 15-ish at worst. I just don't know what ground people have to say that this combine workout for him changes anything for the better, because we just assumed he was an awesome athlete, or at least I kind of did. The Mike Washington one, definitely interesting. I mean, I said before on our most recent podcast, I expected him to run more like a 4.48, and if he had run a 4.48, I would have said I don't really know if I have a spot in the practice squad for him. The 4.33 is quite a bit faster. To what significance, I don't really know. You can call me biased, I guess, but my primary concern is always going to be the production. And if you tell me this guy's going to be awesome because he runs a 4.33 at 225 pounds, then I have to ask, well, how the hell did he average 4.3 yards per carry over 3 seasons at Buffalo? What's going on here? To point out that he has such a rare amount of speed almost necessarily, to me, hypothesizes the existence of some kind of deficiency. And until someone can explain why the numbers don't look right, I'm going to kind of defer to that. So I still don't really care about Washington. I mean, granted, I wouldn't have drafted him before. I guess I'd spend like a 6th rounder on him now, but he still fumbled like crazy. I was mixing up his senior year and his junior year fumble totals on our podcast, John. I was saying he fumbled 7 times his senior year. He fumbled 5 times his senior year, but he did fumble either side, I forgot to 7 or 8 times his at that must have been the New Mexico State season, which is insane. You fumbled like 15 times over 2 years, and you never went, you didn't go over 200 carries in either season. I need you to average like 9 yards a carry before I care, if with that kind of like major red flags all over the place. It's still a practice squad player in my opinion.
I just think that, so I think if anything, like people are going to look at what Mike Washington did this weekend, and at the very least, like he's going to start getting drafted, but like in every single one of these best ball drafts,
dude.
it's going to get silly. So he's for better or for worse going to be that guy that gets like the kind of artificial inflation
for better
here
for us.
yeah. If you had your Mike Washington shares from before, like those your closing line value is already going to be great on that, and you don't really have to like do much else. But like I'm curious to see, and I'll do a best ball here live on the show in a few minutes. To kind of see where the new hype is for him. I could see him, settling in 15th, 14th round.
Funny. The consensus I bet now will be that he's the running back 2 in the draft, and that's just really funny to me. I think we're all going to have a big chuckle about this. Probably not that long from now, even. Like I'm not saying it's going to take 3 years for Washington to burn out. I think it's more like how fast do those 4 fumbles happen? And do you think he is averaging over 4 yards per carry when they hit that number 4? I'm taking the under on the yards per carry, but I bet those 4 fumbles don't take long.
Yeah. So, bear that in mind as we get ready for the post.
Real quick, John,
drafts. Yes, sir.
I'm only mentioning this because I bet a lot of people aren't sickos, and they might not remember players like this. But if you really want a nightmare scenario for all this, these dream scenarios that people are trying to sell you on Mike Washington, look up Arizona Chris Henry and see if you can stomach all of it. See how sure you feel about Mike Washington after that.
Just like Woody Harrelson in the second to last episode of True Detective. No.
Yeah, pertinent. Yeah.
A little bit. Moving on. So you did like mention like people are going to make Washington the running back 2, and I think that it was definitely like free or like open real estate for staking that claim coming into the weekend. And we were kind of more on the Jadarian Price side of the ledger. How did the 5'11", 203? Okay,
I'm a little tiny bit, but 4.49 has to be within the reasonable margin of error on a 4.45 or whatever. I'm not mistaking Price for a 4.4 flat type. I wish he were. 5'11", you wish Price had run a little faster, but how to say this? I'm not at this point hoping. I'm not keeping my hopes up for a late first round appearance for Price. If he had run more like a 4.45 at 210, I think that would have been an easier sell. But more likely, I would guess at this point, Price has headed toward the second or even the third round, and I don't know. I don't have a good sense of how that spacing is going to happen. It's sort of a bad year to need a running back that you can plug in for reliable returns. I don't know that there's very many of those in this draft. Because I might be biased when I say that, but I am basically like, we mentioned it's only 10 running backs that are in the 40, and I don't care about Washington. I don't care about Claiborne. I don't care about Jam Miller. Eli Heidenreich, I don't know if he's going to stick at running back. He might be a receiver. He was more of a receiver at Navy than he was a running back, so I guess we'll see. And sort of dovetailing with the Mike Washington consideration, Seth McGowan played on the New Mexico State team that Mike Washington did, and Seth McGowan was better. Seth McGowan, 4.49 at 220 something. That's totally good. I'd much rather have Seth McGowan's profile, and yet he might go undrafted just because of his kind of character background. Maybe the thin class will save him, but yeah, it's just a bad running back class, and Jadarian Price could be running back 2, even if it is not until the third round, even if Jeremiyah Love goes in the first like 8 picks.
So it feels like there's potential here where there's like if you don't get Jeremiyah Love, you're kind of waiting until later on in day 2 to address that position.
I guess it'll be interesting to see how teams approach the free agent situation at running back, because I just don't know how you look at this draft class and budget much more than, I don't know. In the case of even Price, it's like I don't know if I want to put more than 400. Not in ink anyway. Do I want to write 400 snaps for him? It might be more like 400 ? And yeah, that's even someone like Rico Dowdle or whatever in free agency. It's like you'd probably rather just sign him and not spend a pick on a running back until like the 6th or 5th round this year.
Yeah, this free agent class, I think it already was good, but I think with like what we know of this group of incoming rookie running backs, I feel like that there's going to be maybe more of a mad dash to go after Kenneth Walker or Travis Etienne or
even like Emmanuel Wilson or something like that. It's like why spend time with these rookies who are kind of like total unknowns if you can just get somebody who knows how to go through an NFL training camp,
Right. And then lastly, it looks like some receiver 40 times are starting to come in. I'll share this screen, try to zoom it in a little bit. This is from pals over at NFL.com, their combine tracker. So it looks like Deion Burks out of Oklahoma led the pack with a 4.3. You got Jeff Caldwell out of Cincinnati with the 4.31, Zach Branch with the 4.35, Malik Benson. If you played any 40-yard props, right on it, 4.37. Chris Brazzell, 4.37. Barion Brown disappointing 4.4.
Was Brennan Thompson busy today?
Maybe they had to do two groups. I would guess that would be the case. So he goes a little bit. Yeah, he'll go later.
Okay, so yeah, I'm still kind of. I guess I assume he'll run a 4.2. Whatever it is. I don't care about Burks or Caldwell. I mean, whatever. There's room for guys like that as a wide receiver 5 on a roster. Malik Benson, don't care. Branch, the 4.35 that's kind of what you want to see for Zachariah Branch. And the reason I dismiss so easily Burks and Caldwell and Benson, but not Branch, is because even with his somewhat disappointing production in college, Zachariah Branch has better production variable than those other 3 by quite a lot. So I care when a player who has produced runs a 4.35. I don't care when players who didn't run anything. I just don't care. So Branch running the 4.35 is interesting. Chris Brazzell running the 4.37 is interesting. I'm certainly surprised. I can't tell how interested I should be that Caleb Douglas ran a 4.39. I just kind of assumed he was like a 4.5 guy. 4.39. His production's not great, but I think he'd be in that like round 5 kind of consideration in the 4.39. Who knows? Maybe he can even be the next Eric Ezukanma or whatever.
Oh, sure.
Remember the last Texas Tech 4th round receiver. I don't know if he's played a snap in the NFL yet.
No.
Barion Brown running a 4.4 flat is actually disappointing.
Really disappointing. Yeah, I thought if nothing else, he would torch.
Yeah, 4.42 is a good time for Omar Cooper, but I mean, I still don't really care. I know that people are competing to be the biggest fans of him right now in draft media. I'll let them have that one. Don't care. I think if Cooper were the things that they suspect that he is, it's the production question again. It's like, well, what was going on these first 3 years then? Come on, bring out the theories. Like if there's as an extremely anomalous case, there are some instances where there's anecdotal explanations for why the guy wasn't producing. You think of maybe the most extreme one being like Darren Waller or something. It's like changing position and having off-field stuff or whatever. But we knew he was huge and fast, and when he put it all together, he just clicked easy, and it was all wheels up from that point. But when a guy like Cooper goes into his senior year at a school like Indiana with something like 500 receiving yards in his career, I just have to ask, like, why are you expecting me to care about this? And especially when so much of the hype for him is pretty concertedly being calculated at the expense of Sarratt. Like there's a narrative war going on, and
sure,
I just hate that stuff always. So yeah, I'm gonna be resistant to this hype case. Malachi Fields at the 4.61 definitely raises that Michael Jenkins fear that I had, John, on the like the Atlanta Michael Jenkins, because the comparison there being still probably a starter and like a totally okay player, but don't go expecting him to give you more than 800 yards in his best years or whatever.
Fair enough. And then my guy Dylan Bell with the 4.5. I kind of forgot that he was even at the
Skyler
combine.
Bell 4.4 is pretty good too. I didn't mean to totally skip him, but yeah, it's just kind of, it doesn't really move the needle. I was kind of assuming Skyler Bell would run like a 4.4 flat, so I'm not like flipping out over it.
And then quick time reminder for you: we're at the top of the hour. Did you need to jump, or can you still hang around for a little?
Mixed up that other call for tomorrow, but whatever. If you got other stuff coming on, God knows, I don't mean
Oh,
to.
no, I mean, if you want to hang out for the draft, you're more than welcome to. But I want to fire one of those up here
When is that one going?
momentarily. I'll just go ahead and like get entered into a draft over on Underdog here in a moment.
Okay.
Actually, so if you want to hang out, great. If you don't, I get it.
Maybe not the whole, but I guess we'll see how. Maybe we can do like a Mike Washington sweepstakes thing or something.
Yeah, let's do that. And then last combine thing that I wanted to mention, I feel like we've touched on this like a couple times with the quarterback class being as bad as it is. And, if there's a quarterback with tools that you can dream on, Jalen Green definitely, like, he made me look smart. I don't know if like he's actually good at quarterback or not, but insane workout from the lad.
Yeah, what is this? Is this Haynes King gonna have to move to receiver or something? Is he actually fast?
Well, he's like the toughest dude I feel like I've like ever seen play football. So there's gonna be like a roster spot for him
or something.
Yeah, he has that similar kind of stunt man type of. Yeah.
Okay, well that's good to know. But yeah, the Taylor Green numbers are pretty crazy. It feels a little bit just kind of like redoing the Felipe Franks thing. I understand that Taylor Green's numbers are at least another level better than what's his name's, but we can also just go to another Arkansas quarterback. I don't know what there's a variety of nicknames I could think of, but I'm just going to call him Matt Jones.
Oh, sure.
That wide receiver, Matt. I think he might have also ran a 4.36. It was something kind of like that. And he was like 245 when he did it. He was a really crazy athlete. Actually, it was wild how big fast he was. So he moved to receiver. We'll see what they do with the Green, but Green's passing numbers are pretty brutal. And one of those years he had Andrew Armstrong, who I still hold out some sort of at least like CFL level truth or hope for. And Isaac Tesla, who's, of course, the best receiver of the 2025 class.
That's right. So, yeah, all the help in the world. He had Luke Haas in 2024 as well.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you never know. I mean, maybe there's developmental upside with Green, but yeah, to this point, it's like this guy has to get better as a passer. He's just not really going to be allowed on the field.
Yeah, that's definitely like he's not going to be drafted in this, but
maybe
like
a receiver though. I don't know. Matt Jones might have been a good receiver if not for the other thing.
Did they do this with like that Buffalo quarterback a few years ago, Tyree Jackson?
Oh yeah. He was a tight end for the Eagles for a while. I don't remember. He was a really good athletic tester, like a low 4.5. I want to say, at like 250 or something. So yeah, who really knows? But Green is a pretty unique combination of speed and, for better or worse, height. I don't really see any upside in being that tall, but at the very least, realistically, I'm not hoping for Green to be a quarterback in the NFL. But with those kinds of wheels, he should at least try moving to tight end, try to put on 20 pounds and move to tight end, because even if he's running a 4.45 at that point, like that still would be 96th percentile or something weight adjusted speed at the position. And it's basically it's not quite the same, but it's a little bit like the Darren Waller thing. It's like with Darren Waller, he was not playing quarterback at Georgia Tech, but he was sort of blocked from playing receiver because they would only put a Stephen Hill rep on the field, and he never played, and switched to tight end after all of that hoopla. And the key is having the tools, which both Green and Waller do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just crazy like athletic testing there from those guys. Let's see. So we're up. We're rocking here. I'm gonna hide people's screen names, but yeah, look at that. I'm getting better at this. I'm getting okay at the running the stream dealio. But I have the second pick, which I feel like I've gotten a handful.
You must have it. It's the rule.
Yeah. So that's sort of a unofficial, unannounced rule for my best ball interest. So I always have the second pick. So this draft will get started here in 15 seconds. Pretty good. All right. So didn't have to wait too long. For
Do you want to call it on Washington? I bet he goes in the 9th round.
yeah, let's see. So Price had been going in at like 98 or something like that. I'll say that he like flip flops. I'll set it at under pick 100.
Oh, that's a coward's bet.
It is.
That's an under. Lock
Right,
of
I'm
the century.
taking Jamar Chase.
You took Puka there last time, right?
Yes.
Got to get your diversification.
Yeah, I got to mix it around a
Mix
little
in
bit.
your Jamar Chase at some point.
Definitely don't want to be light on Chase this year, but looks like a pretty stout room in here. A lot of shield icons for the folks in here, so should be a nice little rumble. We got Puka coming off the board next.
That draft that last one you did, JSN fell to like the 8th pick, or which I assume he's going to go 4 here, or 5.
Yeah, I don't think he's
now.
He's not going to
Gibbs is
much
good
longer.
Pick.
Yeah, Gibbs at 4. Yeah, I mean, what is? I don't know how many of these you've done so far, but like generally speaking, like what's like
every
the highest
spot in the first round looks great to me. Oh, sorry, Gibbs I think is justifiable as high as 1, depending on how much volume in best ball you're drafting with, because it's like you probably want to aim for a certain percentage of exposure, and you can't assume. So if you were to have the first pick assigned to you in a draft, I don't think you would be crazy to sort of say, I'm just going to take Gibbs now instead of trying to get however many more drafts it takes to get the 4th or the 5th pick where he's technically most optimal or whatever. But
sure.
Yeah, most optimal, I guess, would be 5 even, because if I'm doing a one-time draft, I don't know if I have the guts to take Gibbs over any of those 3 receivers there. I would take Bijan over those 3 receivers, though.
Yeah, it's tough to take anyone other than Bijan at 1. It's like you're saying, like a matter of how much volume you're drafting, and you know how often you can really kind of count on getting that first pick. Looks like Jeremiyah Love moves up a little bit here. He goes 1.
I would not take him over Genty or even Achane, I guess. And hell, I guess since if I need my 1 McCaffrey share, I think I can take him as high as 6 or whatever. But yeah, I'm not taking Love over McCaffrey unless I have something like 4 McCaffrey shares before I'm getting my first Love share.
Yeah, I think that sounds about right to me. I'm like the low man on McCaffrey as
Hampton
well.
And Genty. Hampton and Genty, I am not taking those. Or I'm not taking Love ahead of those guys this year. It's just out of the question.
No, I don't think so either. And you know, there's still that landing spot detail to be determined for Jeremiyah Love. So I feel like Hampton, you know, things just can't be worse than they were as far as the offensive line injuries for the Chargers this past year.
He was good.
Yeah, he was. And you know, he obviously got hurt right as he was breaking out. Was that against the Giants that happened? So
I can't remember, but I'm just glad it didn't turn out to be what I was worried it was, some kind of nightmare, like a Joe Mixon thing. But I guess it turned out the Joe Mixon thing was doing ATV tricks or whatever in the wilderness. So nothing to worry about. It's okay for Hampton, not Joe Mixon.
Let's see here.
Nico goes, Drake London, Neighbors.
Oh, well. All right, I'm going to do a little Bengals action. Why not?
Are you do you think you can wait until the 4th before going for? Is Burrow going to like the 6th round nowadays?
He's going a little bit. It's not as like as
Still
brutal of a force as it was last year. Like last year, you had to like ruin your draft to make that one work.
Yeah,
I this still year did it's it. Not quite as bad.
I still did it like
sure.
Times.
And it worked out poorly. Okay, here we go. Oh, do I keep it going? I guess I can. All right. Well.
Well, it's a bit.
Right, Bengals.
At the very least, if anyone has any problem with it, it was a bit. Back off.
Yep, I have the bit defense.
But man, you know, I still don't think I would want to take Jeremiyah Love in a vacuum over Josh Jacobs at the certainly Derrick Henry. If Chase Brown if the Bengals get through the draft with Taj Brooks as Chase Brown's primary backup, I don't know if I'd want to take Love over Brown either.
Okay, so there's a little Yeah, that little concern of Brown maybe not having the full monopoly on the backfield.
Why
the way
is
that he
Love
did.
considered a better prospect than Hampton? Hampton was going in the third. Well, I guess Harris was there, but does it really seem as if the people who are buying Love right now are going to let a Najee Harris knock them back 2 rounds? It seems like they're sort of in. They're like we're going for this ride now.
Yeah, like that nothing, like the blinders are fully on. Like nothing can happen team context wise that changes it.
Not bringing up for any other reasons, but it's like the Dr. Strangelove guy on the bomb.
Oh yes. Yeah, as per usual, my cultural touchstone to that was Homer Simpson doing that.
It's the best way to get it. It's the best like 101 introduction to any given subject.
Correct. Zay comes off the board. All right, so we are into the 4th round now. Are you like drafting is Rashee Rice draftable to you right now? Where he's going?
I don't know, man. I was drafting him a lot last year. I don't know. If he plays in even the 2nd round, he will probably be worth it, let alone the 4th. But I don't know. I do not trust that guy. I don't believe him anymore. I mean, the talent is real. He's as good of a player as he appears to be, but I just do not believe in him at this point. I almost trust George Pickens more. How insane is that? To be especially fair to George, he is not accused of doing anything that Rashee Rice has been. I just mean more like I'm less worried about Dallas being like, we have to cut you now, you know?
Sure.
For whatever thing that might come up tomorrow.
Apologies, I'm having a slight brain freeze with
they sniped you on scat.
Next pick coming up. Let's see. Of course they did. I think Terry's got one more year of magic in him.
A lot of receivers going
for it.
It's interesting that Burden in the 4th. I guess we're assuming DJ Moore leaves, which I guess I am also personally assuming.
I don't think I have the guts to wait it out on Burrow, so I'm gonna have to jump him way above.
This is called committing to the bit, and by now you have to do it,
folks. Yeah, it'd be weird if I didn't. So this is the Bengals team. I'm drafting the Bengals, and we'll see how this goes. That is a hilarious start. Awesome. All right.
This is either the winner or a 12th place, or
that's how I like to play my best ball. I'm not here for 5th. You know,
I'm not trying to, but that's how I end up doing it.
Yeah, the theory.
Javonte in the 4th. That's a high price. I feel like not that I'm saying it's even wrong. I'm just kind of I'm still in the mode of like 12th round Javonte. I can pick how much I want. I don't even care, you know. And now it's like, wait, 4th round? What the hell is going on?
Yeah, so he's sort of like this year's Chuba in the sense that like
oh my god, he is.
Like the whiplash of ADP shift,
and including us calling it in both cases, and like saying buy him this year, not next year, when he's 8 rounds earlier.
Yeah, so that's definitely a bit of an adjustment. Do you think that Dallas, like, I feel like last year was the optimal setup for him, like in the sense that really like no one was getting on the field other than him at running back, and they obviously just paid him. So I think that there's like a little bit of like added security there. But like, are they as much as like I'm not like a Jaden Blue guy, like are they really just gonna like admit defeat on that like right away? Like I feel like he's got to get a little bit more involved this year, or they maybe like add something in the draft too. That seems like a Jerry Jones pick, actually, Mike Washington.
Oh
Arkansas
yeah,
there it is.
Wait, did he just go? Oh
no,
I thought he just. I was like, I see Carnell Tate, and I'm like, where's Washington? That would be funny. But yeah, I think I'm trying to remember. I feel like Jerry's shown an odd ability to like resist the Arkansas temptation to this point. But maybe this is the year everything changes. Maybe he takes Mike Washington in the 2nd and Taylon Green in the 3rd. I don't know, something like that. It would be also an example of committing to a bid, and whether you consider it a good bid, I guess, depends on whether you're a Cowboys fan.
Yeah. Let's see here. All right, I got a couple picks coming up here. Looks like I'm back on the clock.
Fraud Tootin. Bayfield. Baleful Tootin.
Just gonna grab.
Okay, there's a real jag right there.
Yes.
Exactly, Bentley.
Yeah, my pup knows what's going on. He's been doggedly watching the combine. Once I make
Bentley
my next
did not draft Travis Hunter last year.
No, he knew that was an auto fade. Oh boy, we're back up. I don't like the running backs here, so I'm just gonna kick that can down a little bit further.
Always a blessed pick. Always blessed.
Thank you. We do have some of these rookie receivers coming off. I'm guessing that the person that took Makai Lemon was not paying attention this morning, or maybe even yesterday in the weird interview. But not a great combine for one Makai Lemon.
Was he a little avant-garde or whatever?
He I don't know. He stared down the reporter. Everyone it sort of went viral. I didn't have the.
See, I miss stuff like this because I never watch media interviews or something because I just assume it's drivel. But that sounds kind of funny. I might have to look this one up.
But his the rest of his I think his measurements I think came in a little bit concerning for people. I think was the general consensus. Let me see if I can pull it back up for us.
I know I saw he had short arms and his hands were kind of smallish too.
Yeah, sub 9.
Yeah, to be serious, I think Lemon's a totally fine prospect. I just think it's a little bit of product of a thin class and the way that Lemon, his USC career peaked so decisively in a 6-week span this year, I think has led to sort of a recency bias in his favor and against Jordyn Tyson. I know Jordyn Tyson is not participating in the combine, which isn't good for his stock. We'll see whatever the verdicts are in his medicals or whatever else. But I mentioned once to you, I think, John, that I don't think Makai Lemon's even as good of a prospect as Christian Kirk was out of Texas A&M. And you hear people talk about Lemon and especially the dynasty sphere where, not to pick on them so much, but they get completely hysterical all the time. And they look at a guy like Lemon having just a couple of his big games this year and they're like, oh, this is a top 10 player. And it's this has been done a lot of times before. You're just not thinking that hard.
I guess their counter is that the measurements look oddly similar to Amon-Ra St. Brown too.
Yeah, well, I that's a desperate, motivated comparison people are making, and I saw Daniel Jeremiah has been pushing it pretty aggressively. Yeah, brand what you have to, I guess. But Amon-Ra St. Brown was a lot more productive at USC, and I know I'm leaning on quite a bit of hindsight, given that St. Brown was a 4th-round pick, and then I'm saying, well, still he's a lot better. But I'm going to go ahead and say it anyway. He's still a lot better. And Lemon can be a totally good player and not be particularly close to St. Brown. That's to me just kind of an unfair comparison in a lot of, especially pending the athletic testing. It's you can't just make every comparison based on arbitrary vibes, but that is what people do almost exclusively.
It sure is. So, I mean,
I didn't just blither into making you auto pick worthy, did I?
No, I wanted to do that.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I feel like we're sort of the other side of the Rice thing is I feel like Worthy's going to be pretty good this year, at least relative.
Worthy should get a little better soon.
So we're still waiting on Washington, by the way.
Oh, are you on the clock right now, John?
We are. Let's see. I got 4 seconds left. Oh boy. I missed my pick. That's awesome. But I probably needed the computer to make me take a running back anyway. So
yeah,
that's fine.
Chuba it is.
Yeah, I would have done
he's probably a pretty good pick, right? If we're assuming Dowdle's gone, aren't we?
Dowdle just went, but I think Dowdle's out. Yeah, in Carolina.
I mean, free agency. I thought he was saying I was disrespected by not simply being handed the starting job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's always a good one to do as a running back who's undrafted and serially on 1-year contracts. Bad teams. That's when you go all in, dude.
100%. All right, we're getting a little bit funky.
But I do like the Hubbard pick. I was totally out on that 5th round price last year, but if it's in the 9th, I might have to think about that. And I hope Jonathan Brooks is able to kind of arrive. Even if he has good news, it's not going to make me worry too much about Hubbard as long as Dowdle's gone.
Yeah, I think Dowdle kind of like telegraphed it towards the end of the season that he was going to be looking elsewhere.
Man, Gadsden in the 9th. It's a steal, isn't it?
I think so.
I have to try to remember to make that pick.
Yeah, because I'd gotten Fannin already, so I didn't want to like double dip.
I love the Fannin pick though, but yeah, I might have to make some Fannin Gadsden teams just because it's part of sticking with the brand, and I think it might actually make sense a little tiny bit.
I'm into it, yeah, because I mean, once everyone buys into the same conventional wisdom, that's how everyone has the same teams, and then they all kind of like fall off the cliff together a little bit. So getting a little bit different.
On Shook. They sniped you on Shook.
Dang it! Oh yeah, the quarterback is getting dry in a hurry here, folks. So Mendoza, you might have to be my guy. We'll see. Mendoza Bowers.
Oh, did they get it? Did someone tandem them?
No, but I'm just like live like talking my way into how things could possibly be okay for him for fantasy this year. All right, I'm back up. I'm gonna go with Jadon Higgins here.
Nice. Yeah, Higgins, I can imagine myself. John Jennings, who just went to, I think I'm going to be getting quite a bit of those two in this range. Jalen Coker earlier in the round. I can imagine him going a little higher soon, but those 3 guys in this round, and Jaden Reed, I guess, especially if Dobbs is out of Green Bay. I'd like to think that new contract LaFleur got was contingent upon them saying, like, you have to bench Dontavian Wicks and Savion Williams, you idiot. You must bench them. And if you do, you can have this contract. There we go.
Sticking with it. Sticking with it.
Brand.
I'm seeing through the noise.
Yeah.
Sticking with Emmett
Johnson. We're going to get all the Emmett Johnson this year. It's going to be great.
I wonder if that, like, did I get him much past ADP? I can't imagine that I did, but that's all right.
What pick is that? I can't. Is that 122? I think he was 120. I think he was 125, 127, something like that a couple days ago. So I don't know. It might have changed since I last.
It's down to. I'm looking at the screen that I'm not sharing. It's his ADP is like 129 now.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't doubt that it'll get further down yet, and I'm not going to go crazy with Emmett Johnson picks because if he ends, it wouldn't be terribly shocking if he ended up as like a running back 3 on a loaded backfield because he fell to the 4th round on a team that runs the ball a lot, or like if the Seahawks took him in the 4th round, that would not be surprising at all. And it wouldn't be great for him to have upwards of 2 running backs ahead of him, especially whenever Charbonnet's back, but. I do think Johnson has produced well enough that he's clarified he's the kind of player that can capitalize if, however he does it, if he stumbles into some opportunity, he can capitalize on it, both with efficiency and volume. Like if Johnson is on a team as a running back 2 and the starter gets hurt and they normally run the ball 15 plus times a week with that guy, Johnson can probably handle that. So, I don't know what I guess it's Bucky Irving would be the good case comp, and they have pretty similar profiles, really.
I like that. And, Bucky Irving was sort of like the combine sort of like, slid his stock, and then, it just turns out that he's still a very good football player.
I'm surprised Sadiq, by the way, fell to the 12th round. Also, I've lost my,
I was about to get him. And I was about to get Cam Ward, so now I'm really scrambling here.
Ty Simpson.
I'm just gonna assume that this is the year that Joe Burrow stays healthy for the whole season.
One quarterback build. We'll just take that bye. One extra bullet in the playoffs.
Yeah, man. All right, I just got Brenton Strange.
That's a solid pick for a tight end 2 role. But yeah, I'm surprised Sadiq didn't go in, I don't know, the 9th round or something.
Yeah, I figured because, like, his hype is sort of like baked in because it all happened yesterday. We'll see. I'm going to kind of have to attack my running back problem with volume here the rest of the way. So
That's a pretty conventional strategy.
yeah, my receivers are loaded. Got Joe Burrow. I got good tight ends. So yeah, might as well just go ahead and take a bunch of what's it?
Mason was
scratch
good
ups.
last year. He was just very conditionally applied, and the conditions were often so bad that the formula didn't, work. But don't ask me how they would do it. If the Vikings were, though, to become a good team again this year, it would be like, oh, I guess if you have a power / short yardage guy on a team that wins a lot of games and has a good defense, that could be useful. But if that same player's on a crap team with JJ McCarthy at quarterback, maybe less so.
Where are we at?
Ayuk in the mid 13th. Do we think he's just retiring or something?
Well, there was that concerning picture of him eating ice cream the other day that had people questioning where he's at.
He can do that. I think he can eat ice cream.
The problem is that picture shows that he can't. The ice cream had melted all over the dang place.
What if he was like frowning in the picture, like, I'm eating ice cream, but
this is not
I'm
how
hungry
you do
to get. I'm competitive as I'm thinking about winning football games so hard right now. I'm frowning as I eat this ice cream, which is otherwise so great.
Yeah, I'm not even eating it.
All right, you can have ice cream as long as you keep thinking exactly those thoughts.
Oh dang! I was really hoping for one of Charbonnet or Tucker. Those guys are becoming sort of my favorite running back picks in this particular range.
You're not spooked about the ACL with
for Charbonnet? I mean, it's sort of, like, it's best ball brained, which is good for this context, but it's like I'm playing for December, not September, I think. Yeah. So should be okay by then. Definitely. I
certainly hope so. I like Charbonnet. I mean, even if I didn't, I would hope he would be back as soon as possible. But I'm always afraid to think of good case scenarios when when there's any amount of peril still.
Yeah, generally I'm fading guys that had that happen to them, especially that time of the year. But
dude, are you going to take Mike Washington? Is that what's going to happen?
I might have to, man. Like,
I think you're going to take him. Like, I honestly thought he was going to go in the 9th round. Someone's going to do it. Someone's going to take him in like the 7th round by tomorrow.
Yeah, this is like the extreme.
Once the RAS thing gets spammed a bit more and people go, wow, I didn't realize this thing could tell me the future. Not to look up who the other top 10 all-time NFL athletes are. Oh, Devin Kajust, number 1. That's weird. I don't know if it's actually Devin, but it puts too much emphasis on like breadth and like agility drills, even redundant ones like the 20-yard shuttle and the 3-cone. But yeah, Michael Penix.
I needed a second quarterback.
Charbonnet's discussion primed you. Like, got to get some ACLs on here.
Yeah, needed them. All right, here, let's do it for the show.
It's good thing they took Tyjae Spears because he doesn't have a torn ACL to give you.
Yeah, he doesn't even have one.
He can't tear it. Mike Washington, 15.2.
There it is.
I guess that's the new market then. Therefore.
Well, by tomorrow we're going to have that 7th rounder. So I went ahead and had 8 rounds of closing line value.
Well, then that's just the best pick of the year. Then
simple. But I mean, let's see. I mean, like Braylon Allen, Vidal.
Yeah, look, I've obviously said I don't think Mike Washington is like a starter in the NFL, but he's not a fullback like Braylon Allen, and Braylon Allen's a fullback coming from an ACL tear. So no, thank you. I can't believe people are still clinging to that. I guess they're gonna tell themselves the ACL is what made it all go wrong. When it's like Isaiah Davis is way better. Everyone should be able to see that by now. But Yeah, as long as you can put that Purdue defense in front of the Jets this year, I guess we might see Braylon Allen run wild again. And
Yeah,
DK
Isaiah
this late, I'm
Davis.
kind of surprised by.
I was hoping to get him as per usual, but that was wishful thinking. Isaiah Davis, like basically for free in these drafts. He's 238.9 is his ADP.
He's just been good. You know, it's not even one of those things where you have to make excuses for him. It's just every time he's gotten a chance, he's just pretty much cashed it in.
I mean, so let's assume that Breece Hall goes somewhere, or is Breece Hall for sure coming back? Are they tagging him?
I don't know, man. I guess they're keeping him, which I understand it in the sense that I think Hall is worth it, and if the Jets are suddenly a competitive team again, then my concern, my protectiveness of Breece Hall would no longer be necessary. But man, a formative football memory for me was watching Corey Dillon on the Bengals, and I just been like traumatized by that enough that anytime I see a running back who's that good on a team that's that bad, I'm like, get him out. I've seen enough. No more. Pull it. Get him out. But it seems like he's going to be there. I hope Aaron Glenn can get that team playing vaguely respectably, because it's a sin to waste the careers of good players.
That it is. So I would like to see Hall in greener pastures and not have to play on that wretched, cursed field.
Not green ones as they were. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to grab another receiver here. I'm going to grab Torrey Horton.
I'm also surprised that Stowers went this late. Like, I would easily take Stowers over Mark Andrews, Dalton Schultz, David Njoku, Theo Johnson, AJ Barno in his 600-yard maxed out best case scenario. Don't need that. Stowers and Sadiq. I mean, I thought I was going to end up being somewhat cautious on Sadiq compared to most people, but apparently that's not really true, at least not yet.
Yeah, no, I definitely thought. I'm pretty surprised that the combine results, being what they are so far, haven't really produced like that sort of crazy rookie mania that we're used to seeing. So, I mean, in fairness, again, like the stuff is still going on, but I thought that people drafting this week or like in this window would be doing so very intentionally.
All these people are waiting for like a few site rankings or like models to update their data or something, and like they don't know what to do until then. They're just
True.
Like they're itching to get drafting, but they're like, my decision machine isn't here. I can't get up. I'm stuck on the ground.
Turtling.
Man, Caleb Johnson in the 17th round. Even I'm interested at that range. I mean, dang.
Only 3 picks left for me. What do I got here? Yeah, so I'm just gonna have to commit to the thin quarterback. I am gonna have to snag another tight end or two, though.
You could always get Tyson. I mean, unless one of these people takes him. Or has Kirk Cousins gone? Isn't he going to be set free?
He is, but like, where is he going to like start for the Jets or something? Like,
probably.
No, I got it, dude. The sharp like pick is Derek Carr. Duh.
Oh yeah,
he's coming back.
What a sweepstakes that is. Which team can degrade themselves the most, groveling to Derek Carr?
The best was like, so I go on the radio in Louisiana every Tuesday, and a couple weeks ago they were like, yeah, Derek Carr's talking like not only is he going to come back, but like he'll only come back if like he can play for a contender. It's like, buddy, I don't think it works that way for you.
Yeah. No, it's just him and Jacoby Brissett or like Mac Jones maybe, or Kirk Cousins. That's it.
I heard Schefter saying that San Francisco likes Mac Jones too much to let him go, but I feel like Mac Jones, I'm going to be ready whenever he goes somewhere else to start to think that he's like at least passable for fantasy.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, quarterbacks don't matter and therefore, just because Mac Jones was bad with the Patriots and the Jaguars doesn't necessarily mean that he can't be sufficient on some other team. And as we saw, it's like Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold. Don't know how many times we got to do this, but yeah, Mac Jones is clearly better than a lot of quarterbacks who are going to get picked in the top 5 in the next few years, and that will be true even though he's not that great or whatever.
Kept our brand going here. I got Darnell Washington.
That's something I'm considering taking a more aggressive stance on, in part because of your I guess we could call it lobbying. Like, even though I'm already like I have already been lobbied successfully, like it was choir preaching, of course, but I was like, yeah, I should draft him. And if only as like a spirit of a protesting spirit, But I mean, unironically, I do think Darnell Washington could be a monster as a pass catcher, even though it's obviously the case too. He's a monster blocker.
Like, just a few times a game, don't you want to like be able to press the button where like the scariest man on the field has the ball and he's in an area where there's a bunch of like hyenas near him, and it's like the film looks like a bunch of hyenas tackling.
That'd be cool if Shanahan had Washington just creating exotic screen setups.
That would be the God. Yeah, get him with a full head of steam.
Him and Trent Williams as running like a motorcycle carriage,
like the big motorcycle twins. Those guys are cool.
Yeah. So Ty Simpson's going to get undrafted in a draft that J.J. McCarthy and Anthony Richardson and Shedeur Sanders got drafted. Huh. Well, hey, Godspeed. It's not like I'm taking Ty Simpson, so.
Somebody else's problem. What would you do
I just
here?
Assumed.
What would you do
Honestly,
here? I got 7 and 7 for receivers and running back.
Is Penix your quarterback too? Or was there somebody else in there?
Yeah, my quarterback.
I will never, John, I promise I will never say this again, but maybe you should take Ty Simpson.
All right.
Maybe not, though.
I mean, I don't.
Gunnar Helm's already gone. Who else is there?
My other pick was going to be, well, I kind of like Hollywood Brown in the 18th, but I don't know where he's going to end up. Yeah, you're kind of. Yeah, I mean, this is obviously, you're end of the 20th round. Isaiah Davis was in consideration for me also because, again, I'm just playing like a sort of money ball approach at running back, whereas my receivers, I don't like drafting 7 or fewer or having more running backs than receivers, but my receivers are so much better that I might just have to take another running back. But a quarterback for safety purposes, that's the reasonable play. I think Simpson or Cousins. What do you think?
Well, again, I'm not going to tell you to take Simpson again, so I guess it's. I don't know.
Oh yeah, you said it once. That's enough. There we go.
But I also won't tell you to take Cousins again, so I guess I didn't actually make a decision there. But Simpson works.
There it is. Yeah, if he starts a few games, gives me like 1 or 2 usable weeks. That's all we need. So
Burrow's not
as long as Burrow's,
we don't even care.
No, just the pattern. 3 years in a row of him getting grievously injured, it's going to end, and everything's going to be honky-dory.
Probably.
And the Bengals, they still won't have a defense. You can't fix that quickly, so it's going to be fine.
Trading Trey Hendrickson should help.
Yeah, they're amazing. So to recap for everybody here, I grabbed Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Chase Brown, Terry McLaurin, Joe Burrow, Parker Washington, Harold Fannin, Xavier Worthy, Chuba Hubbard, Jaden Higgins, Emmett Johnson, Brenton Strange, Jordan Mason, Michael Penix, Mike Washington, Torrey Horton, Manuel Wilson, Ollie Gordon, Darnell Washington, and Ty Simpson. Let's see. The draft is over. I wonder if they have like that live projections. Let's see how bad it looks for me here. Probably bad, but appreciate you hanging out for the duration of that. Luckily, these are quick,
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I might as well get going because I don't know. I guess we did the podcast already. And this is almost
Yeah,
like any other one.
exactly. So,
Fancy Meatball, thanks for joining, and everybody, of course.
Yeah, everybody that tuned in, much appreciated. Yeah, we had a lot of people watching on RotoWire's Twitter in particular. Yeah, my projection is south of 3,000 points, so that's not awesome. But we're just going to beat the projections. We're going to say the projections
Once they
are wrong.
fix the Ty Simpson game started projection, that'll put you up in the top 3 probably.
I'll be golden from there. But again, everybody, really appreciate taking some time on your Saturday afternoon to hang out with us, do a little draft, talk a little combine, all that good stuff. And thanks to you, Mario, for coming on, hanging out as well. But for Mario, I'm John. Thanks for listening to the RotoWire live stream, I guess. And again, if you haven't signed up at RotoWire, 15% off any subscription when you use that code YouTube15. Just go over to rotowire.com, code YouTube15. And there you go. Peace.